Hey, welcome to the video. I'm going to talk about Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, my name is Kieran. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, a small island in the Caribbean, and my age is 27. And what was the last question?
What your major is.
Oh, I study mechanical engineering, and I focus on the biomechanics of standing and walking and trying to figure out ways to rehab it. So the capital of my country is actually Port of Spain, and that was derived from, it was a Spanish colony and they called it the Port of Spain in the Caribbean. And then it became taken over by French and British, and hence my slightly British accent. So most common is definitely British, followed by Spanish and French. And the Spanish and French is more intermingled into the names of the towns, food, and like Christmas. So since we're British, we formally it'll be like, how are you? But then informally it's like, what's the scene? So like, what is the scene? And like, how you doing? Things like that. So we have, Christmas is definitely the biggest event, but since with it being like a British colony, we've gotten a lot of people from Africa, especially from slavery. We had a fair amount from India and China, and I was like indentureship. So we have a lot of Hindus and Muslims, and one of my favorite holidays is definitely Diwali, which is a festival of lights, and I just love the whole country celebrates it, which just makes it even more fun, along with Christmas too. And with Diwali, it's just a bunch of little diyas, which is clay pots that they put a wick in, and they have huge bamboo structures and they put it in houses, so it's just like whole country lit up, and it's a fun time with fireworks and lots of food, which is my favorite part. So it always mostly centers around food, but with it, we have it being a tropic country, we have beaches, and one of the most popular beaches is Maracas Beach, and that's on the north coast, and it kind of intersects like Caribbean Sea, of which it's a white sand beach, and it takes about 45 minutes to get it from like my house. And I love to go there for the waves, just like running on the beach, playing on the beach. And they have a popular dish called bacon shark, which is a fried dough with shark meat inside of it. So that's really enjoyable. We have a Caroni swamp, which is just like a bird sanctuary. We have a lot of like forestry, so people do a lot of hiking. Then we have a lot of water activities. So when I was growing up, I was in Boy Scouts, but I call it Sea Scouts, and we did like rowing, kayaking, sailing. So I got my fair share of water activity and still love it to this day. All. So I try to cook food for myself, but of course, like buying out in the Caribbean when you have it authentic food, it's definitely the best. And one of the things, it's curried food. So one of the favorite dishes is curried chicken with potato and mango, and then rice with it. And I love that. Sometimes I'd cook it for myself, not enough though. And then it's funny because Trinidadians, I would say, are more on the carnivore side. We love meat. But our informal national dish is actually a meatless product, but it just tastes so good, which is it's an Indian dish where it's 2 pieces of fried bread with like some curry and ghee, which is like Indian butter. And then it has like curried chickpeas, and we call it chana. This is a good question. It made me think a little, and I like this question because you could answer it culturally, weather-like, but I think I'm going to stick with the weather is the most unique thing for me, and it's not distinctive of the US, but like North America. We're in Trinidad, we have a rainy and dry season, and basically sometimes it's rainy, like it's wet and wetter, But in the US, there's 4 seasons, and it's definitely distinctive, especially in Wisconsin with the heavy winter. But a lot of people's attitude changes over the time. When in the Caribbean, people dress the same and like act the same throughout the year. But in the US, you have changes. Like people change their clothes, well, because they have to. People mood changes according to the weather. What people eat changes. In Trinidad, you eat the same thing throughout the year. In the US, people eat more pickled food in winter time. I myself am not a big fan of pickles, but that's probably because I have all the fresh fruit in the Caribbean. So it's just how much people, like culture, changes according to just the weather. And that's not as apparent in the Caribbean, which is I found really interesting when I came here. Oh, so Carnival is definitely very popular there, and people love to come, especially I think it's around February, March time, to come down. But even though we're known for Carnival and we get a lot of tourism from that, we have, I talk a lot about Trinidad, but there's Tobago. It's Trinidad and Tobago. It's a twin island state, and Tobago offers a lot of just like scenery in terms of rainforests, coral reefs, and just places to relax. But then Trinidad is the high activity where it's like partying, less quicker form of life. So it has the variety, so it depends on what you want, and it's nice to get exposure to both. And even though north of the Trinidad offers a lot of stuff, if you just drive around Trinidad, it takes about a day, you get to see a lot of variety, which I like a lot.
Yay, thank you so much.